Thanks for stopping by. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but a means to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy YouTube, you find that a lot of the content you like to watch is very engaging, and so you're several hours into watching videos and haven't gotten nearly as far along in your knitting as you would have liked to. So if you're new here, welcome. I am working on my Knit Ahead for the Holidays series, which is part of the playlist that this video is included with, and the goal is to have all of my knitting completed by this holiday season, the 2019 holiday season, to have everything ready and shipped to my relatives all across the states. Actually, most of them are in the Pacific Northwest, but another one in the southern state of Texas. But anyway, I'm slow. I have life things, and as we all know, things come up and I can't just knit all day long as much as I would have liked to in my free time. Other things come up, errands, life, sleep, eating, you know, all the work. So that's where my series comes in, to keep me on track with getting everything finished. So it is Saturday here. I shot a video yesterday, and I had a chance to do another one today. So I thought I would take the opportunity to revisit my Chevee wrap. So I think this is maybe I can't say for sure how many videos of this particular project I've already done, but I want to say this is either like 4th or 5th, maybe, perhaps even the 6th of this particular project that I'm working on. And I'm not very far. If it's supposed to be a wrap, this is maybe a quarter of the way through. Actually, I could tell you for sure. I finished my 7th grouping of 10 the last time we had a video with this, and I'm supposed to have 25 of these, and I'm only at 7 right now, so I have a ways to go, but it's relatively simple pattern. If you haven't already joined me for the previous videos I've shot with this one, in the description I have the pattern. It's free on Ravelry. It's by Brian Smith, and this is what the finished project should look like. Just a very simple scarf, but very nice. And this one's for my aunt. I asked her what kind of yarn she wanted. She preferred a baby alpaca, so that's what I'm using. It's Haiku's O line, and it's in the color Fudge. And of course, all that's in the, oh, excuse me, I just got back from a very late lunch / early dinner, so my stomach is still like, oh, okay. And for those of you who watched the previous video that I shot yesterday, I finally dropped off the package to the UPS store, which is why I went out today and had a late lunch after. But hopefully the family, the couple, they should get the package this upcoming Thursday. So I'll be able to report back on that perhaps maybe Friday or Saturday. I think they'll be back in town by then for their anniversary. I think they went to San Francisco to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. And I haven't seen anything on Facebook to say that they are back yet, or that they had gone at all either. So they're probably enjoying themselves if they are out, which is fine. Of course, they should. It's their anniversary. So yeah, I actually finished one group of 10. So when I say that, if you hadn't watched before, so there are 10 rows and like a set to make one segment of this garter stitch with this knit gap between the garters. So this is all 9, and then when you get here, it's a 10, and then you start a 9 again, and the 10th row is different. So that group I finished, so you have a whole lot of these to do to get the length of the wrap. And so I'll go ahead and start again. And I keep this out because even though it's a repeating pattern. I still, knowing me, if you guys have watched my other videos, you know I need to pay attention because I get carried away and then something bad happens. Um, so, okay. Alright, alright. And I'm using my stitch marker, one of the many that I got during the yarn crawl that I participated in. It's just a little ball of yarn there. And so I'm on the right side because that's where the gaps are. You can see the chevron pattern. And let me see this yarn is like a chain link yarn, so it's kind of tricky. You don't want it to split because of how it's designed, so I have to be very careful. But I hope you guys are all having a good Saturday wherever you are. You'll probably, because I'm filming so late, you'll probably see this on Sunday. And if you do, I hope you're having a good Sunday. I'm going to be at my book club. It's been 2 months now since I've gone, and I was busy with work, so I wasn't able to participate in the last 2 book clubs, but I have the book downstairs, so when I'm finished with filming and knitting, I'll be jumping right into that book. Actually, I take that back. I'll be jumping into the book after I watch the Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. I think that's what it's called. It's like the animated Spider-Man movie. My partner asked if I wanted to watch with him that film, and I said sure, but I gotta shoot first, like film, because they want to watch it in virtual reality, and so if I have the headset on, it's gonna like mess up all my makeup, and I went through a lot of trouble to look presentable. So I didn't want to watch the movie first and then mess it up. So they're patiently waiting for me downstairs. We got back from running the errand, and we decided to have lunch / dinner out in town. Just grab a little bite from a local place that we like, and picked up some tiramisu for home. So I'm excited to get into that and watch a film and read a book and do some more knitting. And so I'm getting like a weird, I don't know if you guys see it, but there's like this weird flare coming off of my shirt, by the way, cat themed. I'm going to try to wear more cat stuff for Halloween. I'm closing it now to see if I can stop the flare, but because I love cats. And I actually bought quite a few new shirts that are Halloweeny and cat themed, so I'm excited to wear more of them. Actually, I wore one yesterday, my Gigi shirt from Kiki's Delivery Service, and I like that one. But I have a few others I can wear too. Oops, okay. Oh. Wait. Okay, so it says knit 28, slip. Knit. Okay, no, I'm right. See, this part can be bad. When I get to the part where I have to do something and then I don't pay attention, but okay. Basically, I just need to remember that when I am knitting by, I need to knit 2 stitches before the marker and then do the thing and then do the other thing after I move the marker. Does that make any sense to you? There we go. Alright. But yes, I am excited to get this one done. It's only been slow going because I've just been jumping around to other things. But I really want to see what this looks like when it's all the way done, because reading it the first time around, the pattern looked really, it said it was easy, but then when I read the pattern, it seemed kind of confusing. But the decrease part, like where I finish off, I'm going to be curious to see how that works. Um, but just to kind of see what the whole thing looks like. This one I'm trying to piece it together. Like I obviously have the finished picture, but as far as the process goes, I I wonder about this one. This one had me puzzled from the very beginning. And yeah. So what else have you guys been up to? I was curious to ask if I had a specific. Yes. So I was thinking this morning when I was getting ready for the day and everything about how I have so many works in progress. I mean, not just for the holidays, but in general, like crafty wise, like works in progress that I have to get done that I'm looking at like this way right now because the top shelf of my closet has three stuffed animals that my dear great, she's not my great aunt, but she is a great person. My aunt made my partner and I stuffed animals a while ago. There's a dragon for him, a Hello Kitty for me, and a Pokemon for him as well. It's like a Pikachu. And this was years ago she made these, and I was like right in the middle of grad school, so I was super busy and I didn't have time to do like any crafting. And she thought, she thought ahead. She's like, well, maybe I should stuff these for them, but they wouldn't pack the same way. So she said, nah, I'll just give them the shell and they can stuff them themselves. And that was like 4 years ago now, maybe 5. Yeah. So nope, they're still half stuffed, and I feel bad about it. But it's just like stuff the stuffies, or knit, or make a card for somebody's holiday, or like birthday or something, or work on this other thing that I want to do. Versus, I mean, that it's easy enough just to stuff them, but the labor of it, I guess, is what's like deterring me, and I have to keep buying polyfill for it. So, okay, now we're on row 2. This one's easy. Um, but yeah, so that one's kind of like lingering, and I have some other projects that I have in mind that I would like to do that I haven't started yet that are not knitting related. Some embroidery, like cross stitch. I want to learn how to. I have this Pusheen. Pusheen the cat is this. She originally started as a Tumblr character. If you're not familiar with the platform, um, honestly, I'm not too familiar with it either. I was never like a Tumblr person when it became a thing, but I know it as like GIFs, images, and like conversations. So it's kind of like pre-Facebook, still around, but pre-Facebook, post MySpace kind of a social media platform with mostly images and things like that. And Pusheen was there. Now she's become like maybe pop. She's probably not as popular as Hello Kitty, but she's definitely up there in the cute cats with a lot of merchandise and franchised items that you can buy and decorate your whole life with. Um, and so I love Pusheen. I think as I've matured as a woman, I relate more to Pusheen now than I do to Hello Kitty, even though I still love Hello Kitty. Um, but as far as personality wise, I'm Pusheen, like 100%. And on her site, they had this little cross stitch kit. It came with a hoop and 3 sheets and some patterns you could do, and I bought it on a whim because I was like, I have to have that. It's crafty, it's cute, it's small, should be easy, right? And that was, I think that was last year when I purchased that, and it's still on my table of where things sometimes go to die. So, I don't know. And then before that, I bought a notebook because I really wanted to get into hand lettering and thought it'd be nice to get like a nice little quality notebook to do to practice like letterhead and stuff like that. And haven't used it yet. I have a coloring book that was gifted to me. Haven't used that. And I love to color, so I don't know. I have so many different ideas of stuff that I want to do, but just getting them done, going all the way through. I'm honestly this like knitting this channel is probably the most committed I've been to like an art type project where I've seen it all the way through. Maybe not so much the channel because I'm still very early in my production years as a online presence, but as far as keeping track of everything I've completed knitting wise and the fact that they do take a lot of time, I'm very proud of myself. You know, I came in to knitting in March of last year, and I just thought, you know, it'll be fun to learn how to knit, just to learn how. Maybe make a scarf or two, call it a day, but the more I practiced, the more fun I was having. Like, I was already really excited. I was making something, and, you know, I had wanted to knit, or at least learn how for maybe 5 or 6 years prior to when I started. And then, you know, getting the coupon, finally, you know, I got the mailer, the Joann's Fabrics, you know, gets 50% off your purchase. Like, why not? Why not just go in there, get some yarn, get some needles, and start? So the fact that I had gotten that far, finished several projects that were gifts, and was able to start all these other ones, I'm impressed with myself. My commitment level to art projects is pretty low. Like, I'll go all the way in, get all the supplies, and then by the time I start, it's like, meh, like the excitement's gone for me. For instance, my last year's holidays, when I was working on two scarves that I actually was able to finish, uh, and those went to my cousin's children. And I wanted last year to make um, wrapping paper. I usually decorate the wrapping paper anyway, but I was really set on stamping it this time instead of painting like each sheet. I wanted to make a stamp so that I could just stamp several things with paint. I experimented with a couple different inks, but overall, or in the end, I decided to just use acrylic paint, paint the image of the stamp, and then use that. So first things first is that I bought all the rubber that I needed, and then I bought the carving tools so that I could practice, and I had graphing paper already, so I was like doing my designs on the graphing paper with like a very soft lead, and then turning it over and then like rubbing it onto the rubber stamp so that I could carve it out with the like linoleum cutters that I had. And so I made a few stamps. I still have them, and I used some for birthday, like I had a cupcake and a birthday cake stamp, and then for holiday time I had a Christmas tree, and I had like this cute like little flower decoration, and a bell. Did I use the bell? I don't know if I used the bell. But yeah, so I did that, and then now I still have so many more blanks of rubber pieces that I haven't used yet, and trying to think of like what else I could do with them, and I don't know. It's interesting. So let me know in the comments. Are you like me? Do you have like 1,000,001 projects that you either want to do, have started, and haven't completed, or do you like hoard crafts because you one day want to use them but you haven't yet? Like, I feel like this room, I'd mentioned before that I have to like clean it up again, but it is literally like the Bermuda Triangle of lost cause projects. Like, projects come here to die. I don't mean to be like, I'm making fun of myself just because there's so many things that I want to do that I have started and haven't finished yet. And I'm just like, what's wrong with me? Like, the the thrill of it goes away, but I don't know. Let me know if you're like that. Can you relate on any level? And then, what's your go-to? Like, is it all knitting stuff? Or are you like me and you kind of try a little of everything to see what you like? I'd be interested to learn from you all. So, yeah, I don't know. And something else exciting happened yesterday after I was done with you guys. I don't think so. I got some laundry done. Ooh, that reminds me. I put something in the dryer before I left, so it should be done now. But yeah, so I just have reading to do. Koji is, oh my gosh, that's right. On Instagram, I posted because, so as I mentioned in the last video, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you know as well that Koji was sick last weekend. So tomorrow will be a week since we had noticed he wasn't feeling well and was drooling everywhere. And now he's back to his old self. I bought some litter for him. I use Chevee.com to deliver litter and food and all that. And so I picked up some lysine tablets. They're just like little chews. I used to use lysine powder in their food, and it's like an immune booster. But at least my vet at the time had recommended it because Kabu and my previous cat Kokuo were sick at some point, and she's like, yeah, just use some lysine in there. That'll help, keep them strong. And I would buy the powder, but it would go bad before I could use it all. So I just stopped. And I realized, I'm like, well, Koji wasn't feeling well. Maybe I should buy some lysine again. And then I thought about the powder and the last time I used it and how it would go bad before I could finish it. So I tried now soft chews, like lysine soft chews. And they came in the mail today. Like FedEx brought them to the house. And I opened it up thinking, yeah, they're going to love these treats. They won't touch them. I was like, darn it. They were cheaper than the powder, but still, I don't want to waste $8 on some treats. So then I decided to trick them into eating them. So they really like these fancy feast, like moist salmon or tuna, and I think there might be another fish. They're just like little wet pieces of fish. And they have like a little bit of juice, like liquid inside of the pouch where the treats come out. So I was like, okay, I'll open one of these treats and then just dump like the tuna juice on the lysine one so they would eat it, and they still wouldn't eat it. So then I was like, okay, well, this isn't going to work. But they were still like hovering around, like Koji and Kabu were still hanging out with me because they knew I opened the other packet, and they're like, well, we want that thing. We don't want this lysine tablet thing. So what I did was I just took like the wet like tuna square thing and like mashed the heck out of it into the treats so they were like infused together, and then I just handed it to Koji and he finally ate it. And then Kabu came over and she finally ate it. It's like, alright, so as long as I have these other treats, I can try to get them to eat the ones that are good for them. So I was laughing at him because I was like, I made you eat your vitamins. You ate your vitamins. Now you're like a kid. Like you have to trick them into eating something they don't want to. But before all that, last night I had posted on Instagram because the very carrier that rascal fought me to not go in, he was dead asleep inside. Like, I've left it out since his vet trip this past Monday, and I was doing some editing and watching some stuff and just at my desk, so my back was facing him, and I was in the middle of doing some laundry, so I went to the downstairs to get the laundry out, and I didn't see him anywhere, and I just was like, well, that's weird. Um, and then a little while later, I came back to the living room, and I was like, it's so quiet. Like, where is he? He's not in the bedroom. He's not, looking out the back door at the squirrels. And then I turned around again, and then I see this little gray floof, like little patch of fur and the carrier. And I'm like, really? Okay, so you don't want to go in there when I need you to go in there, but when it's open, nobody's bothering you, you're just gonna go in and take a nap. Okay. So I took a picture, like I was really far away at my desk, and I took a picture and sent it to my partner because I'm like, can you believe this guy? Because he was out with some friends. I'm like, look at this, and I'm like, I can't believe it. And then later, I tried to get closer so I could get a better picture, but he got up. He like immediately woke up once I started getting closer to the carrier, and he just like shot right out. So I have this picture of a blurry Koji just like shooting out of the carrier. But I was like, of course he's gonna go in. I mean, and Kabu's been in there too. Like night, they keep switching. Like they'll both just take naps in there, never together. Heavens no, but they'll just go in there and sleep. And I'm like, nobody wants to go in there when we need to take you somewhere. But when it's just minding its own business, they're like, okay, sure, we'll go in there. But I was telling my partner during dinner, that I bet if he was so knocked out and I closed the door, he would have probably freaked the heck out and like would be really upset with me. But those are cats for you. Let me know in the comments, do you have a cat or cats? And are they like fearful of the carrier as well? I've read up on it about like making sure they're introduced to it early and associate it with good things. And that's what I've done in the past. Like it used to be out all the time, and we would feed them in there, give them treats, everything. It was fine. But anytime they have to go in, to be forced in to go somewhere, or like they know, they can sense that you want them in there for some reason, and you try to do like the same stuff you always do, they don't want to have anything to do with it. Like they're like, nope, I'm not going in there. I mean, Kabu sometimes, like you put a treat in there, she's like, whatever. But Koji is so leery of like everything. He's very in tune to when people want him to do stuff because he won't cooperate at all. So he's like my knucklehead boy. But yes, let me know. Do you have kitties that are all about the carrier, like they don't mind it at all? Or are they like mine, where you have to like wrestle them in and then they are fine once they're inside? But it's crazy. But I love him anyway. He makes for interesting stories. That's for sure. Okay, so we just finished the fourth row. Haven't gotten that far yet, but you could see just not that much progress. This is where we are right now. And this is the front side. And not too exciting, but here's the back. You can kind of see the little bit of that variation, but this is where the party is, right up here. So I think that'll conclude this Saturday video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you stick around for more to come here. And if you aren't already subscribed, please join us. We're at 10 folks now, which is so exciting, and we hope to keep growing. But if not, that's totally fine. We can be nice and cozy where we are. All that matters is that you guys enjoy the content and I get to share my progress with you, and I think all of that's really fun. So I think tomorrow, since I'm doing stuff in town for the all-day travel excursion I have to go to my book club, Monday I have some plans perhaps with a friend of mine, But you might see me one more time on Tuesday before the end of the week when I can film again, because I'll be out of work on Tuesday as well. So once again, thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.